Me Draw. And welcome to another commentary, guys. I know like 5 people are like, where are the commentaries? Give me the commentaries. Give me the commentaries. And here I am trying to deliver. Basically, I'm going to combine the Yamama commentaries because there's kind of a lot of them. I might even missed a few, but I'm taking Fredbot, Adventure Time, Titan, and anime, Boshonen. I'm not sure how to pronounce Japanese words, but sexy Japanese Ouran high school Brody. With this piece right here, I was trying to emulate kind of this boxer hockey Bravest Warriors cover look. But if you don't know Tyson Hesse, he does this, I probably mispronounced that name, but Tyson from Boxer Hockey does these amazing covers for like, I think he does the actual comics for Gumball, The Amazing World of Gumball, and then he does like really awesome front covers for like Bravest Warriors. And I was trying to emulate his shading style, kind of, not quite. Mine's a little bit more painterly than his. His is a lot more like refined. But with this particular piece, when Yamama is like, "Hey, we need a watch me draw of Brody hanging with the Fredbot," and I was like, "Okay." I decided to add like I decided to add Puppy Cat and the cat bug character because I know they're big. They're really marketable. People love them. They're these kind of the simplistic but just really nice characters, and I want to include them because it's just like a little added pepper onto it. And maybe I wanted to kind of do a Boom comic cover, but I haven't been approached yet, and I guess I haven't really tried to contact them either. But it was one of those things where it's like maybe they might, just slip that through. You know what I mean? And so with this one, basically all Zach told me, Zach, the co-creator of Yamama, was just like, we need a shot with Brody hanging out with the Fredbot. That was basically it. And I was trying to think of like what could I do here? Could I have them fighting? Like maybe Brody's a giant, because the Fredbot is big. Like imagine like the Iron Giant size. And then it just kind of came to me as like, well, I know that right now like the most marketable Mama is Fat Mama with red hair. That's her name, redhead Fat Mom, and so like I wanted to include her too. So I thought it'd be kind of cool just having Fredbot just kind of flying all Gigantor style because that's kind of what he looks like. For me, drawing non-organic things is like the hardest thing because I don't know. There's just something about like making sure the lines are straight, trying to make everything like geometric is really, really tough for me. And you can even see that in like a lot of comics and cartoons. They're usually done CG. They'll model the thing and just kind of pose them. For this, the background came out phenomenal. I mean, not to like toot my own horn here, but like I was really happy with the background. It's kind of got this like Kirby Crackle style thing going on. I haven't got to it yet. I thought I started to, but like I knew what I wanted to do from that point. Right now, I'm just kind of adding that a little extra shading here. You can always tell with the watch me draws for Yamama, I tend to, the style is pretty much the same, though I don't go out of my way to make all the outlines super different, just because usually I do these on like a time crunch. Like, for example, right now, Yamama just like, oh, by the way, we need the next 4, like, ASAP. So I'm like, shit. I'm actually kind of procrastinating just a little bit. I started a, Yamama Terminator. I think it's Tomb Raider and Terminator put together. But no, I'm doing a Terminator Brody, and I'm like in the middle of that, and I just wasn't happy with it, so I'm kind of like procrastinating. Hopefully, getting some time off of it, going back to it, making things look all good again. The Mama came out great on this. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give her like a sad expression or an exciting one. I like to think that this is literally Frederator picking up Yo Mama, which they did, as a network, and bringing them to the promised land, I guess. By the way, the shading came out really awesome. I forgot what I used as reference, but like I definitely was like, I think I actually used a Frederator bot CG model that they had, some image. I think he was like on an island, not an island, in a city or something, destroying something. And I just kind of like looked at how they painted the metal and the texture and just tried to apply it as much as possible. I don't think Puppy Cat can actually fly, but it was one of those things where I was like, I'll add this into it. It just makes it kind of look cool. Because I wanted them all to be flying at their own pace. So here I am with my Kirby Crackle. Kirby Crackle, by the way, Kirby is an artist for like I want to say DC, but he's famous for having this kind of like Ben 10-y. Have you ever seen the Ben 10 intro? It has this like lava lamp bubbly effect. And that's a little CG I threw in to get, not CG, that was a little After Effects I threw in to make it, seem a little bit more impressive at the end, you know? Whenever there is a chance for me to do a little animation, out of the picture, I will. Or if I'm doing a pan and I did the background on a separate layer, I'll try to always, like, do a little extra. So with this one, we have Brody as a Adventure Time character. And, the one thing, because basically all they said was, we want to do Brody doing Adventure Time. Someone suggested it, and so I was like, okay, cool. And so what to do here? And I think the first initial thought would be probably to like include Finn and Jake into this. But I thought, you know what? Let's give the Ice King some love. And the one thing I didn't want though is I didn't want it to just be Brody being Finn. You know, like a lot of fan art, you tend to see like people just kind of like taking Finn's body. And then, you know, basically erasing Finn's traits and then just putting on stuff. So, like, you get that tube sock and it's like, oh, here's a tube sock that's now Link because we added a sock hat to it. But you know, none of the other characters in Adventure Time have that exact same body shape. So I really wanted to make Brody look like he was actually designed by the Adventure Time team. And I looked at, oh man, I forgot who they were. I think it's the Lynch, maybe. It's a character that was like added on later on, like he had like 1 or 2 plots in season 1, then was added into season 5 for like 2 episodes. Anyways, I used him, or maybe his name was Billy. I don't watch Adventure Time that much. I need to get into it. I actually started watching Adventure Time backwards. Like I started with the most recent episode and just been kind of going back. I know it's a really weird way, and so it kind of ruins a lot of things, like Finn's dad being an asshole, but it was one of those things where it just kind of happened. So yeah, but I'm really, really happy with the way Brody came out here. Like, I do feel like he does look like he belongs in the Adventure Time world, and it wouldn't be that out of place for him. So I decided to have him kind of chill with the Ice King, which is kind of, as far as, like, villains go, the Ice King is kind of like this patheticness that's really likable. Like, he is super pathetic. He can't do anything right. There's so many scenes now where, like, he's kind of the show's butt monkey, where, by the way, that's a trope where it's just a character that the show likes to pick on. And so I was like, okay, I'll have him hanging out there. And I really like the Ice King's, like, Ice Kingdom backgrounds. And I was like, okay, I can use those as reference. And so I decided to put him in, even though it would be, like, super, super cold, I thought, hey, let's put him in a hot tub. Because there was an episode where they were in a hot tub. I think it's the Finn the Human and Jake the Dog episodes where there's like an alternate world, and I threw in Gunter in the shot there because it's just like it didn't feel right to have Ice King in there hanging out with someone and Gunter not there, and then just something about him just kind of being there, almost like completely just just floating in the water, that makes it just really, really humorous. So. It's funny with the actual Mama Watch Withdrawals where I'm in style. I never actually changed the color of the outlines, but here I am. Whenever I'm doing another art show, like or artwork, when I'm ever doing another art style, I tend to go a little bit above and beyond to make sure I sell that it looks like a shot from that show. And so with Adventure Time, they have colored outlines. And so, like, that's the rules. With me drawing in Yamama style, you already know it's Yamama because of the line weights and such. And also, when I do Yamama style, I kind of mentally think about it as, like, like I'm a comic book artist that was commissioned to work on it. And, like, you look at any of the, like, say, the Steven Universe comics or the My Little Pony comics. I look at them whenever I go to a comic shop, all, like, 2 times, and their outlines are always like, black instead of the colorful outlines, or it never quite looked exactly like the show. And so that's one of the things that I try to apply to it. I don't know, it's weird. It's just like a little quirk of mine. Something I have started doing with the watch redraws is that I think a lot of people start clicking off when I do the backgrounds. If I do the backgrounds before the characters, if I do the backgrounds after the characters, which the characters are what people care about in these commentaries or just watch redraws. So I started kind of just doing the background and saving the characters for last because part of me is just like, well, I got to keep people in the video, and the other half is just like, most of the time the characters are, flat shaded like this. So There's really not that much to it. It's just being put in the paint bucket, so it's the last thing. Little touches. But overall, I wouldn't mind seeing Brody in Adventure Time, even in the background or something. I think he fits, as you can see here. Some about his face shape's just really, really cool. Now we're going to be moving on to, I think everyone's favorite, is Attack on Titan, or as your mama named it, Attack on Mama. Or Mama on Titan? No, I think it was Attack on Mama. So for this one, I've never actually watched Attack on Titan. I know, let's pull that Band-Aid off. I know everyone loves it. I have a kind of a rule when it comes to anime, is that I tend to watch anime dubbed. Partially because I prefer when they edit the jokes to work for an English-speaking audience, myself. Some of the Japanese jokes just don't quite stick for me, and I think it takes me out of it. Additionally, a lot of times anime just... I don't know, the squeakier voices don't really work for me, but the big reason why I tend to watch anime dubbed is because I tend to work while I do stuff. It's very rare that I'm not working on something or have 100 projects and super stressing out. So I like to watch things, either they have to be really, really short for me to give my full attention to it, say 11 minutes, or it has to be dubbed in English so I can watch it, and half work. I know that might be you might be thinking that I don't get as much enjoyment out of it as I should, but I do. Maybe sometimes I watch it multiple times to make sure I catch everything. But Brody totally works as a Attack on Titan character. From this angle, it just kind of you just draw it. There's no real art style thing. Versus if it was straight up, there would have to be certain things to make him fit in Attack on Titan. And I'm not really sure if I was trying to make him look like he was in an Attack on Titan art style or not. I think I was just kind of going with the characters are drawn for the sake of being drawn. And then if they fit the art style, that's great. If not, I did do the coloring, which I'll get to in a moment. I did mute the colors to make it fit more like the shot. Because, again, since I haven't actually watched Attack on Titan, I basically just kind of took a screenshot I liked and thought, okay, there's not much of a background, let's do this one. And so I just here I am mixing around, and I'm kind of blurring out a little bit more. But I think in the actual episode, the Attack on, the Titan, the Titan just broke down a wall or something. And so the character, I think Levi might be his name, I'm not 100% sure about any of this. It's just kind of standing there with the swords, and then you have the skinned human Titan just staring at it. And I thought, well, of course, if I'm going to include a Titan, I might as well make it Fat Mama. You know what I mean? And since Redhead Mama is the more popular one of the set, that's who became it. So here I am just kind of basically, since Brody is kind of a different body shape and just have different elements, I am looking off the original image that I based everything off of, and I'm kind of trying to mimic the light source from that. Obviously, there's certain areas, different folds on Brody that doesn't quite work out the exact same way. But I am sampling colors from it for some of the clothing, tweaking it a little bit. And then this is probably the least orange hair I've ever done for Brody. I tend to give him extra color. So here you can see where the lines didn't completely finish on the character. I kind of moved her head over a little bit. And so this is me just kind of, if you notice the lines, I'm just kind of sectioning off the area instead of finishing the lines and trying to just kind of get it all. Because once I have the fills, or the lines in, once I have the fills, yeah, that was the right word, I can just add shading onto it. So what I'm kind of doing here is quickly just sampling in the color or using a marquee tool or the magic wand tool, click on a section, and then just kind of painting in it so I can kind of sloppily do it and then clean it up in a little bit. Overall, skinless Fat Mama is kind of terrifying, and the hard part, though, is I'm pretty sure that maybe the skeleton system might be a little bit slightly different, but most of the time your muscles would be kind of it wouldn't expand. I believe it's more like fat. So I don't know how fat the character of she would be as if you're only seeing the muscles. I'm not 100% on that, and I'm sure. I don't know. Is anyone in the thing? One, did you even make it this far? Two, is anyone really good with anatomy? They could tell me about this stuff. But yeah, so also I don't think she would normally have the hair. I kind of just added it in there just because I wanted to make sure it was recognizable as Fat Mama. And by the way, when I was working on this, my roommate walked in. And he was just like, "Is that you? Is that you?" Because I'm like, "Oh no, because the curly hair. No, it's red." And he goes, "Well, I think you used that red before." I'm like, "No. I do red for my beard, but not quite for my top hat. Top hat for my top hair. I think I was trying to say top half." And then obviously, here's a really quick trick. If you ever want to make something look like it's like Young Justice or anime, just duplicate the frame, put it on top of it, and then overlay it, blur, and you get this kind of like this anime polish look to it. I don't know, they might just do that normally, but I was trying to experiment with it before, and that's how I got it. I think I do it with this piece as well. So with this one, someone suggested, I think, Anime Brody. And so my first thought was, okay, if I'm going to do Brody as an anime character, I gotta make him kind of like the sexy, pretty boy anime thing, because that just works out really, really well. Obviously I could have done Dragon Ball Z or shonen type thing, but no, Boshonen just felt better. The first version of it was very 90s. I just kind of Googled Boshiman, and then like certain things popped up. I was like, okay, cool. I also like searched big chinned anime characters because I was like, okay, obviously everyone has that like generic styled anime character, chin, the chin's is basically a triangle and things like that. So how do I make this more unique and more Brody? Because even with Brody being an anime character, he shouldn't lose any of his physical traits. And that's probably one of the biggest issues I have with anime as like fan drawings, is that they tend to like they take elements from other drawings and or other styles, and it tends to be the same thing. Like at One Piece, you have like Nami and Robin. Aside from like noses and like slight eye changes, a lot of their body and like some of their face shapes are basically the same thing, though it's gotten better. You could see at the beginning I did a different drawing. That was the 90s one. With this one, I started watching Orahan Host Club. I actually watched, I've watched it before. I dated a girl that was really, really into it before, and she made me watch like every single episode. So I've seen it before. I'm familiar with it. But with this one, I was like, okay, that is the key anime for this type of stuff. So the pose that he has is actually a combination of Tamaki, I think is the name, the blonde one that's voiced by Vic something. I'm really bad with names, guys. And then the twins. So I kind of took two different ones and I combined those poses together. The background is straight up from the Tamaki shot, and then I decided to include him in the actual Ohan the school's like uniform. Someone pointed out, and I didn't even catch it. Like maybe I was just like too close on this, but he has 6 fingers. He has 6 fingers. I did not realize that. I made a joke that this is actually a reference towards the GTA 5, or maybe it was 4. There's a picture of a girl like licking on a lollipop, and she has 6 fingers. And it's amazing how like natural it looks until you realize it, and then it gets really, really creepy. But I overcompensated his fingers. Whoops, that happened. So for this particular shading style, I'm using, I believe, Drew Green's, which I use like 90% of the time now is Drew Green's brushes. They're really smooth. And, I'm using one of them, and basically it's got this nice marker look to it. So I was trying to paint this as if I was painting a Copic marker drawing. Because I wanted to make this look like kind of like a 2001-ish anime manga book, like a cover to it. And so, they're just kind of like these harsh lines. Some things are kind of blended, things like that. And overall, I think I did a pretty good job. By the way, if you start hearing loud noises, it is Easter right now, and yes, I'm working on stuff for the channel instead of doing things. For most people, Easter and holidays are usually like, yay, we're going to get the family together. For me, it usually signifies like, oh, I'm going to be alone because everyone's going to be going to their families, and I'm probably going to be working on something. Yay! But yeah, there's kids outside playing right now. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think this one was pretty successful, minus the extra finger. That one, I still can't believe that no one, like, I showed it like 5 people and no one even brought it up, and then like 1 person. So, yeah, I had no clue how I was going to be doing this hair, by the way. It was just one of those things where it's just like, alright, let's do this. Because I don't know if Brody actually has curly hair. I interpret it as curly hair, but It might be just short. I guess I could have done spiky hair. Which, by the way, why does everything, anime, video games, even from Japan, they don't have curly hair? Rarely ever. Avatar makers, everything. Super frustrating from a guy who does have curly hair. And if they do have curly hair, it's girls' curly hair. Never guys. Super unrepresented. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Kind of put a little personal stuff, put a little bit of information. By the way, you can see right now that Zach was just like, add a chin, and then I didn't. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed these, and I'll be seeing you soon. If you did make it to this part, Easter. Put Easter in the comments. See you guys soon. Stay awesome.